The Boxer Rebellion, a seminal event in Chinese history, unfolded at the turn of the 20th century, driven by a potent mix of anti-foreign sentiment, economic hardship, and resentment against Qing dynasty rule. The uprising, characterized by its martial arts practicing participants known as Boxers, aimed to expel foreign influence and restore China to its former glory. However, the rebellion quickly escalated into a conflict involving not only the Boxers but also a coalition of foreign powers known as the Eight-Nation Alliance. The roots of the Boxer Rebellion can be traced back to the late 19th century, a period of turmoil and decline for the Qing dynasty. China had suffered numerous military defeats at the hands of Western powers and Japan, leading to the loss of territory, economic concessions, and humiliation. The influx of foreign missionaries, merchants, and diplomats further fueled resentment among the Chinese populace, who saw them as symbols of foreign exploitation and cultural imperialism. Amidst these challenges, a secret society known as the Boxers emerged in northern China, drawing its membership primarily from the peasantry and the lower classes. The Boxers practiced martial arts and adhered to a belief in spiritual invincibility, convinced that their rituals and incantations rendered them impervious to bullets and other weapons. Inspired by nativist and anti-Christian ideologies, the Boxers sought to rid China of foreign influence and drive out the foreign devils and their Chinese collaborators. The Boxer Rebellion erupted in earnest in 1899, initially targeting foreign missionaries, Christian converts, and Chinese Christians perceived as traitors to their country and culture. The Boxers, emboldened by their perceived invincibility, launched attacks on foreign legations, diplomatic compounds, and Christian communities in Beijing and other parts of northern China. Their actions provoked a swift and forceful response from the foreign powers with interests in China. In response to the escalating violence and threats to their citizens and interests in China, a coalition of 8 foreign powers formed the Eight-Nation Alliance. The alliance comprised troops and naval forces from the United States, Great Britain, France, Germany, Russia, Japan, Italy, and Austria-Hungary. Their primary objectives were to protect their nationals, suppress the Boxer Rebellion, and safeguard their economic and territorial interests in China. The Eight-Nation Alliance launched a series of military campaigns to quell the Boxer Rebellion and restore order in China. In June 1900, coalition forces converged on Beijing and launched a coordinated assault on the city, facing fierce resistance from the Boxers and Qing imperial forces. The siege of the foreign legations lasted for 55 days, during which the defenders endured desperate conditions and heavy casualties. Despite the tenacity of the Boxers and their Qing supporters, the superior firepower and organization of the Eight-Nation Alliance eventually prevailed. Coalition forces succeeded in capturing Beijing, rescuing the besieged foreigners, and dispersing the remaining Boxer fighters. In September 1901, the Qing dynasty was forced to sign the Boxer Protocol, a punitive peace treaty that imposed harsh terms on China, including indemnities, territorial concessions, and the execution of government officials complicit in the rebellion. The Boxer Rebellion and the subsequent intervention by the Eight-Nation Alliance had far-reaching consequences for China and its relations with the outside world. The rebellion exposed the weakness and vulnerability of the Qing dynasty, accelerating its decline and paving the way for the collapse of imperial rule in 1911. The humiliating terms of the Boxer Protocol further fueled anti-foreign sentiment and nationalist fervor in China, contributing to the rise of revolutionary movements and the eventual establishment of the Republic of China. The intervention of the Eight-Nation Alliance also had profound implications for the future of China's sovereignty and territorial integrity. The unequal treaties and concessions extracted from China undermined its sovereignty and fueled resentment against foreign imperialism. The Boxer Rebellion and its aftermath thus serve as a stark reminder of the complex dynamics of power, nationalism, and imperialism in the late Qing dynasty era and their enduring legacy in modern Chinese history.